Hi Girija, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you. And thank you so much for speaking on You're Not Alone. How's
My pleasure.
PhD life going with all the corona drama?
Um, Not so good, but finding alternatives on my research. But I feel like PhD has prepared me for lockdown, like way before lockdown ever happened. So in a way, it's a blessing. So yeah.
That's good to hear. So Giri, you were in Japan for a short time, and coronavirus hit Japan quite badly, right? So how did you handle it while you were there?
Honestly, I think we were slightly anxious the last couple of weeks that we were there. We
Mhm.
weren't very anxious in the beginning when it had like just begun in East Asia. And I think the last couple of weeks were like a lot more sleepless nights than we had imagined, just more because we didn't know enough about Japan to know what was it that they were doing right or what was it that they were doing wrong. Like
Mhm.
it's still not crazy in Japan yet, even though it's like blown up across the world.
Right.
So it was just like this unknown, which was just a lot more like creating uncertainty in our life that, oh, are we taking the right precautions or not, while the rest of the world is taking these many precautions. And
Yeah.
every time you speak home, you're like, why am I going outside? Why am I having this pre-lockdown life here in Japan
Yeah.
still? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, lot of anxiety, at least for the last few weeks that we were there.
Gosh, I know you had quite a bit of turmoil happening whether you should go back home to Boston or if you should continue staying there. But now that you have come back to Boston, how is it now? Do you still feel the anxiety from Corona over there, or has it been a bit better because now that you're home?
No, honestly, like much less anxious, I think, now that we are home. I think the fact that the home, like as a concept, I think really is something that's like hitting home this time.
Yeah,
Wow, said that. But just no, I think like just the fact that we're home and we are in our own space, we have access to our own like sort of life here, like other life here is pretty much more settling than being in an unknown place and not knowing how to navigate the system for sure. And I think it was a decision more about where you see yourself in the next 3 months, 4 months. And I thought if that's the timeline we're looking at, because we don't see things going back to normal
yeah,
very soon,
yeah.
so it was good to be home and to have that life than like be in a country where you're like restricted by a lot of factors.
Of course, and honestly, I'm very sure that a lot of people who are watching our conversation right now would be able to relate with your situation back in Tokyo. For people who are stuck away from home, this is the time that they want to be home with family, and it's probably causing them a lot of anxiety thinking that they're the only ones away from their families. So I hope this conversation has given them a little hope that A, they're not the only ones, and B, that this will soon be over and be a little more settled and they can go back home. So, Girija, thank you so much for speaking with us on You're Not Alone. And I truly hope that you and Vinayak are safe in Boston now and a little more settled. And thank you again.
Thank you.
See ya.